Hello and thanks for joining us for our mid-morning edition of Arirang News. I'm Mark Broom. Our top story this morning, President Park Geun-hye is due at the National Assembly for crunch talks with the Assembly Speaker as she seeks lawmakers' understanding for her efforts to handle the abuse of power scandal sparked by her longtime confidant Choi Soon-sil. For more, we connect to our Ji Myung-gil at the National Assembly. So Myung-gil, this is a big meeting for the President because the parties, particularly the opposition bloc, have been resisting pretty much all of her proposals.
Right, Mark. We are hearing that President Park Geun-hye will sit down with Chung Se-kyun at 10:30 a.m. in around half an hour from now. It is thought everything will be on the table, but opposition party leaders will not join the meeting. The presidential office said it would like to attend them too. President Park will likely call for their cooperation in approving her prime minister nominee, Kim Byung-jun, to stabilize state affairs, but the opposition parties continue to oppose the appointment, saying they will only hold a face-to-face with President Park once she withdraws her nomination for prime minister and withdraws herself from the ruling Saenuri Party. Mark?
Well, thank you, Myung-gil, and we'll be hearing more from you at noon Korea time during our next newscast, possibly on the results of that meeting. Now, moving on to the latest regarding the ongoing probe into the scandal, state prosecutors are looking into whether Cha Eun-taek, a music video producer who had close ties to Choi Soon-sil, meddled in state-led cultural projects. The prosecution said Tuesday that it questioned a key person only identified by his family name Kim late last week about whether Cha engaged in deciding what company would be in charge of a national brand project called Creative Korea. Cha, the music video producer, is deemed a key suspect in this scandal and probe, but he's currently known to be in China. Now, as part of the widening probe, prosecutors also raided the offices of Samsung Electronics and the Korea Racing Authority on Tuesday morning. It is alleged Samsung may have improperly provided financial support to a German company owned by Choi Soon-sil and her daughter, which was used to buy a thoroughbred horse for her daughter. Samsung is known to have donated more than $3 million in 2015. Now, after months and months of campaigning, the end is almost in sight. Millions of American voters will head to the polls on Tuesday to select their 45th president. The latest polls show the race is tight, with Hillary Clinton slightly ahead of Donald Trump. Kim Mok-yeon with the details.
Polls have tightened over the past few weeks, narrowing the gap between the Democrat and Republican presidential nominees. But as FBI Director James Comey announced on Sunday that agents found no sign of criminality in the set of newly discovered emails, public sentiment has leaned slightly towards Hillary Clinton. The latest polls show Clinton got a mild bounce from the FBI announcement as her average lead over Donald Trump rose from 1.6 to 2.5% in national polls. A Fox News poll shows Clinton leading Trump by 4 points nationally. She also has a 4-point lead in the ABC Washington Post poll and the CBS News poll, which were all released on Monday. Following the FBI's announcement, global equity markets and the U.S. dollar surged. The Wall Street Journal Dollar Index, which measures the dollar against a basket of 16 currencies, was up 0.6%, with the dollar up 1.4% against the Japanese yen. The Mexican peso jumped roughly 2% against the dollar. Regardless of the result, this year's presidential election will go down in history. If Clinton wins, she'll be the first female U.S. president in history, and if Trump wins, his America First policy is expected to bring about big changes to the rest of the world. The winner will be the candidate to secure the 270 majority of the 538 votes in the Electoral College. Polls are set to close at around 8 p.m. on Tuesday local time, and the results are expected to be out by Wednesday morning. The U.S. Congress is scheduled to certify the electoral results on January 5th, and the new president and vice president will be inaugurated in Washington on January 20th. Kim Mok-yeon, Arirang News.
So around this time tomorrow, we should have a clear idea of who will be the next US president. But for now, it is down to the wire between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the race for the White House. But what will the result mean for Korea? Our Hwang Ho-jun takes a look.
The new tenant of the White House will have a seismic impact on a global scale. Both candidates, though to differing degrees, have campaigned on trade protectionism. Trump is critical of existing trade agreements, including the Korea-US FTA, claiming it cost the U.S. 100,000 jobs. Clinton has never attacked the Korea-US FTA per se, but has made protectionist overtures, becoming over the course of her campaign an opponent of the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal. When it comes to North Korea, the difference is much starker. Donald Trump has claimed on numerous occasions that countries are not paying their fair share for defense and even raised the prospect of pulling out U.S. troops from South Korea. Clinton, on the other hand, stresses the importance of cooperation between the U.S. and its allies and has proposed toughening sanctions against North Korea to force it to abandon its nuclear program. Separate from what's been said in the campaign, experts say it would be easier to project the direction of policy that Clinton would take.
We know something about Hillary Clinton. We know nothing about Donald Trump, and all the risk and the worry about a potential Trump administration has to do with the fact that we have very little information about what to expect should he become the president of the United States.
However, experts also argue that it's crucial for Seoul to be proactive in diplomatic relations with the next U.S. administration either way.
Frankly, whether Trump or Clinton becomes the next US president, the situation in the Korean Peninsula won't be their top priority when coming up with or implementing policies. It's important for Seoul to come up with a plan to solve the problems and then ask for the US's cooperation.
With a day left until the U.S. chooses its next president, Seoul has a lot of preparing to do as well. Hwang Ho-jun, Arirang News.
And that's where we're going to leave it for now. Our next bulletin is coming up at noon Korea time. So until then, goodbye.